Shalom, shalom. Is it to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakor, Kodash, Barakatah. Bear with me. Looking at the live stream now. See if we just checking if we all good. That's all. I'm just doing a mic check. I don't want to, Alright, man. Seems like we good. Someone log on. If someone come on here, I just ask them if they can hear me. Alright. Alright, seems good. Alright, well, I'm gonna go inside the battle of in chronological order. One of the first battles in the Bible, and it's basically spoken in spoken in Genesis the 14th chapter. All right. Yeah, it's spoken on Genesis the 14th chapter. Hey, if anybody is just let me know if you can hear me. All right. So anyway, this is Genesis the 14th chapter. Without further anything to do, it said the war of the kings. It said Genesis 14:1, and it came to pass in the day of Raphael, king of Shinar, Ariash, king of Eleazar, and Shalom and Sheldolomor, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations, that these made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and with Bersha, king of Gomorrah, and Shanab, king of Admah, and Shemubber, king of Zodom, and king of Balaam, which is Zor. Now, what's going on here is these kings made a war with Sodom, because with the kings of Sodom, right? Now, I just wanna get the backdrop on that, right? Because I wanna go into it with the fact that say the king of Shalimar, he was the head. He was basically he was like he was like the Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? He was leading that charge of Sodom and Gomorrah. And we just go on inside history right now, you know. So he was an Elamite, right? So that's so that's your East Indians, right? So basically these what is it? These four kings. I wanna get the actual amount, but yeah, them four kings, right? Yeah, those four kings was going to battle with the five king, because it wasn't just Sodom and Gomorrah, it was the valley. It was the valley. It was the places in the valley, man, who those four kings was going to war with. And it say we're gonna keep reading. And it in verse 3. All these were joined together in the vale of Siddim, which is the salt sea, right? Which is really that salt sea. Let me get it. It's talking about the Dead Sea. It might not come up because my connection is not that good. Yeah, no. That's it's lock in, brothers. Live in that sea. That's why they call it they call it here the salt sea, but it's really the Dead Sea when you see it on the map, because nothing can grow in that place, and that's where they had their battle, man. And it was spiritual, because Sodom and Gomorrah was a place where shit, man, even though it was a good land, it was wicked as all hell. It could nothing grow there, you know. Come out of that land except for Lot and his family, right? Now, it's like if my connection is bad, I'm trying to just fight. Even though it was a good land, I'm just trying to fight through it. That's all. All right, so understanding that Shedolamore, he was he was the head. He was leading this charge to and it was 5 cities. It was 5 kings, and I just named them in verse 2. Shedolamore Mir, in the 13th year they rebelled. In the Sheldon, that the king that were with him, you know, those 4 other kings that and smote the Rephaim in Roth and Karnim and the Zuzims and Ham and the M and Shava and Corinthim. So or Korathim. Now you gotta take into account what's going on here. So Shedolamore, he was basically he was the top dog for 12 years. Those Sodom and Gomorrah and those nations paid tribute unto him. They paid a tribute unto him, right? And I'm gonna read something in the Wikipedia. I'm reading from my other phone, so we can all just it can just flow. It can just flow better. It say after 12 years of being under the Elamite rule, which is the East Indians, in the 13th year, the cities of the plain, right? The city of the plains are those is Sodom and Gomorrah, and those other 3 cities that I named, Adamah, Zebulun, and Bela. These 5 cities was also known as cities of the plain, right? And it was set and it was by the plain were situated on the Jordan River plain in the south region in the land of Canaan. The plain which correspond to the area just north of the modern day Dead Sea. Right, that's that in verse 3 it say all these were joined together in the vale of Siddim, which is the Salt Sea. With that dead sea, because there was so much salt in that sea, it could not fucking grow there. All right. So that was the background of it. So since we got that, now it said that this man for 12 years they served him. In 13 maybe came Dolomore, king that was with him, and smote the refuge. Now we gotta look these words up. So this was one hell of a king. This was one hell of a dude. I mean, this was a strong army, man. And I want to read something from the Josephus, right? Which the apostle said we could read from his book. It got secular history, man, in his book about this account. There's some secular history in his book that I actually wanna read. I wanna read some of it, and I don't give a damn about views, man. You know, just let y'all know that Lord, you know. So, but all right, I'm about to read some secular history. All right. So this is from the book, from the Josephus. I got this book for $14.97. All right, the apostles said we can use this book to look up secular history. You know, you can use some secular history in this book. It's chronological history in this book. It gives you a background of really what was going on in that time. So this is book 1, chapter 10. Book 1 on the antiquities of the Jews, chapter 9, verse. It said 171, but you know, you got to get the book. It's just page 39. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna read a little bit of this. It say at this time when the name of it is say the destruction of Sodomites by the Assyrian war. It say at this time when the Assyrians had the dominion over Asia, right? Because they had dominion over Asia. You know, they had rule over Asia. You know, others should know that whole land of the Middle East. So they had rule over Asia. Talking about my man Shell de Lamar. Shell de Lamar. You know, forgive me, can't say his name for shit. So he had dominion over Asia, and the people of Sodom were in a flourishing condition. Right, so the people of Sodom was living life. That's why when you go into it, that's why Lot actually chose that land. That was a flourished land, actually. You know, but like I said, could nothing grow out of it. Meaning it wasn't a spiritual land. It was wicked as all hell. The people there was wicked, as the scripture exceedingly wicked, and riches and number of their youth. There were 5 kings that managed the country right. That's why I said it was 5 kings. It wasn't just Sodom and Gomorrah. It was actually 5 kings that managed. You know, and it names those five kings are named Balis, Bar, Sennabar, and Mobor, the king of Balaam. You know, it was those five too. Adama, you know, all the and each king led his own troops, and say, and the Assyrians made war upon them, and dividing their army into four, fought against them. Now every part, of the army, the battle was joint. It say the Assyrians were conquerors, and imposed a tribute on the kings of the Sodomites, who submitted to their slavery 12 years. That just will be read. So this lining up with the Bible. This secular history is lining up with what the Bible is saying. Slavery for 12 years. So long they continued to pay tribute. But on the 13th year they rebelled, and then the army of the Assyrians came upon them under their commander, Rumfield and Shadolamor and Tadel, those four kings. These kings had laid waste all Syria and overthrown the offspring of giants. And that's word is the refugees. Those talking about actual giants, actual people of great stature. You know, they was actually talking about people of great fucking stature, big tall motherfuckers. Like, was some big tall dudes on the the Hebrew word there is rapah. It's rapah, right? And I'm gonna click it. If it, it's giving me a hard time. See, the old tribe of giants, H7496 right on your screen. So these Edomites, so Sheldolomor, he was so, the Lord had him so much in the spirit, he was slaying giants just to get to these Sodomites, to show you the vast strength of this army, of these four kings. It was going through giants, men of stature. He was actually talking about actual men of stature. And to prove this is actually talking about physical men of stature, I got a backdrop to that too. Because, I did my research before I did this video. I ain't just jump out there, I actually wanted people to get an understanding of what's going on here. Now, this was talking about actual giants, right? Now just give me one second. I'm gonna find it. All right. So, the Rephians, to prove they were actual giants. The devil gotta fucking. All right, here we go. I'm gonna get Hey, I'm not gonna make this hard. Even if you go to if I just go to yo to go to it. 2 Samuel. Here it is. 6, which was the giants. Now, let's look at the word giant. The word giant. I can almost guarantee. All right, let's see. Studying. You're still going off the spirit too, you know. And I'm a. Ooh, I was right. Rapa. The Rephium. Ra. That there go the H. 74998. Just like. Bed Nob, which was of the sons of the giants, the weight of whose spirit weighed 300 shekels of brass in weight, he being girded with a new sword, thought to have slain David. But it's a big dude. There was a big dude, man, and it's talking about the those tall things, right? Big. We're fucking with these, older. But Ashbea, the son of Zariah, curled him and smote the Philistine and killed him. You know what I mean? So it wasn't, it wasn't unbeatable. But check this out. And there was yet a battle in Gath. This is verse 20, where was a man of great stature. That's that son of the Rephium, that had on every hand 6 fingers, and on every foot 6 toes, 24 in number. And he was also born to the giants, man. All right, so that proves what the Bible was saying, of course, and I lined that up with secular history. So everything is on point right now. So I just wanted to make that point. He was going around slaying giants just to get to these sodomites. They was coming for these goddamn sodomites, man. So, and all, that's a little bit too much time, but all these bases talking about strong people. So it's a smoke the in verse 5, Genesis 14:5, the Rephiums, that was talking about giants, and the Zuzims. Guess what? Those was actually tall structure people of stature too, and Ham and the Emis and Periath and the Horites in Mount Seir. Right, this is where later on Edom start to dwell. And the Horites, when you look that up, it say cave dweller. Petra. That's where Edom dwelled, man. When we chasing up in that mountain, just further on, because right now, Genesis 14, it's still early in the Bible, still early in life, This is just when Abraham was just around. Jacob wasn't on the scene just yet. Isaac wasn't on the scene just yet, who had Jacob. But onto El Paran, which is by the wilderness, and came to Mizpah, which is Kadesh, and smote all the countries of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites that dwell in Hazanon Tamar. And there went out the kings of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zobim, and the king of Balaam, the same is Zor, and they joined battle with them in the vale of Siddim. When Sheldolomar, the king of Elam, and with Tidal, king of nations, and Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arch, the king of Eleazar, or Eleazar, the four kings with five. So it was four against five. It was the four kings from the east leading the charge, Sheldolomar, and against those the kings of the plain, the valley of the plain, which is the Sodom and Gomorrah. And the vale of Siddim was full of slime pits, which is basically that black goo. It's like black. It looked like black tar. That's basically what that goes into, black tar. And the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there, and they that remained fled to the mountains, right? And they took all goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their virtue with their way, so they got slaughtered. And here go the point. And they took Lot. So this was known as one of the first battles in history. You know, this was one of the first big battles. There was one of the. I want to go over all the big battles. So this was known as one of the first battles. So the one hell of a battle, man. This man Sheldolomar, he was slaying giants, man. Those Philistines who we had. But check this out. Strong this army was. Check this out. Then I'm gonna close out. And they took Lot, brother's son. So it was his nephew who dwelt and his goods and departed. One that had escaped, and the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plains of the Amorite, brother Eshcol, the brother of Ner. His captive, his arm, he armed his servants, his own house, 308, and pursued them unto Dan. So 318 men through the spirit Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, man. This is the army that just slew giants, that just slew the whole age. It just slowed the world, was going through the whole lands, all throughout the whole lands, and anyone in their paths, including giants, the Philistines, whom is not a spirit. Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, the Lord put the spirit on Abraham, just like he put the spirit on we ain't doing nothing carnal. We slaying spiritually now, man. Himself against them, and he and his servant by night on Haba is on the left hand of the beast home, man. This is our picture forefather, man. This is the God of, hey man, we serve the God of El and Jacob, man. Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, man. That's the spirit, right? That's beautiful. Here it is. We just read out how strong his army was, how it just slew. Guess what? They stood no chance against 318 men of Abraham men, and Abraham was he's a chosen vessel of the Most High, man. All right. And he brought back all the goods. Yeah. And brought again his brother Lot and his goods, and the woman also, and the people. Now I want, because a lot of people assholes. Well, all right. Well, hold on. So to you people who want to talk about Abraham, right? Oh to attack scripture for you, because I already know we're gonna have some answers. East and west, and shall Abraham and Isaac and heaven. He is an Israelite, man. That's a brother. That's a brother. That's a seed of. That's a chosen vessel of your house. Guess what? He ain't gonna be no. He gonna be oppressing you fucking Edomites, man. Abraham is, man. I'm gonna read that back again. Matthew 8:11. It say, and I say unto you that many shall in west and shall sit down with Abraham, who is an Israelite, Isaac, who is Israelite, and Jacob, who named changed to Israel, in the kingdom of heaven. Come on, man. Don't get no plainer than that. Abraham is her nephew, Lot, man, to destroy, and he destroyed that whole army. He brought back all goods, and also brought again his brother Lot, and his also that right. Sodom went out to meet him at the return from the slaughter of Sodom, was with him, so he slayed them all. That 318 men slayed them all. That's just the verse 3. I gotta read this on close. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, which is Jerusalem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High, man. And he gave, in verse 19, and he blessed him and said, "Blessed be of the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth." So he gave that battle to all. It was all through the glory, all through Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua that battle happened, and Lot was delivered through the hands of Abraham. All